game that had less than 400 runs in it. R.A. Dickey was just terrific. They go again tonight. Joining us on the telephone to discuss, our friend and yours, Major League Baseball insider for Fox Sports, Mr. John Paul Morosi. Dude!
Good morning.
Hey,
Good morning. And I do want to bring a little bit of positivity because I know it's been a little bit of a rough start to the season for the Blue Jays. So here's what I'll tell you. The Blue Jays right now, 4th place in the American League East, but they are the closest 4th place team to 1st place of any 4th place team in the major leagues. They're only 3.5 games back, so all is not lost. They could be.
We'll take it.
My point is there are 5 worst divisions they could be in right now, so it's actually pretty good. All things considered, a pretty good situation for them.
Also, if you consider this too is being 3.5 games back. 13% of the season, and only 13% of the season has been played. I figured that out this morning in my mind.
Exactly. This is, I love those comparisons to, when we talk about comparing the MLB season to the NFL season. If this was the NFL season, it'd only be the second quarter of the second game. You know, that whole analogy, whatever it ends up being. So there's a lot of baseball left, and although I am a bit concerned, I will acknowledge, a bit concerned about the situation with 3 of the rookies being sent to the minor leagues. That is a bit of a concern.
Yeah, it was like a wholesale change. They said, of course, 3 guys down, Castro, Norris, speaking to him, and Pompey. Tell me why you're concerned.
Well, I think that if you look at the overall picture of the rotation, the bullpen, you know, certainly the rotation has struggled a lot up until last night's start by Dickey, which was tremendous, and I heard John Kibbard say it might have been his best start ever as a Blue Jay. So that was obviously encouraging last night. But I look at the picture of the rotation and the bullpen, and I ask how much better is it going to get with this group as the season goes along. And I also look at Aaron Sanchez in the rotation. He leads the major leagues in walks. And that is something that I'm not sure is going to correct itself during the course of the season either. You know, he's never been a guy that's struck out a lot of guys. And I think when you look at the way he's pitched this year, you can tell with the number of walks he's issued, he is pitching away from contact. And I don't know how that gets better overnight. That to me is going to be a bit of a concern because he's obviously trying to survive in the American League East. He knows a lot of small ballparks, so I think he's trying to not get hurt by the home run, and in the process he's just putting a lot of guys on base. So that's my concern there. And then the bullpen, you know, Castro, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, how impressed we all were with him, and obviously the stuff was tremendously impressive, and I think that the confidence was there too. However, you look at what happened there, and they kept having to go to him in situation after situation without a safety net. And for a guy that's 20, 21 years old, you know, I'm not really sure how fair that was. And it's not John Gibbons' fault. He just had to do the best he had with the pieces that he was given. So that to me was, I think, a bit of a concern, and I just wonder how much better it's going to get. I guess obviously Cecil getting the save yesterday was a good sign, and you hope that maybe if Cecil can knock down, nail down the 9th inning, then maybe Castro comes back and he can do a good job in the 7th and the 8th.
I only heard yesterday that they're planning on stretching out Castro to start down in AAA Buffalo. Does that surprise you?
A little bit. I mean, we know he's got great stuff, but that is a little bit surprising. And again, maybe that speaks to a little bit of the concern level they have with Norris and or Sanchez this time. We'll see how Marco Estrada does in the rotation. Of course, he's done that before with Milwaukee, and he's a guy that, you know, Estrada's a veteran guy, doesn't scare him. I think for this type of situation, he's a good guy to have around as a safety net. But it is surprising with Castro. To me, Castro is he looks like a reliever, throws like a reliever. Everything about him, when you look at him on the mound, it says relief pitcher. He just the way that he throws the baseball with that type of velocity and the delivery, everything looks like he can be a relief pitcher. So that does surprise me. I still think his best role on this team is a relief pitcher, and I still think he could be a good closer. I just think it was maybe a little bit much to ask to do that in April, his first season.
John, you talk about Estrada. He's a guy who gave up a ton of home runs last season pitching for the Brewers, and now he's going to be here at Rogers Center. It's definitely here at Friendly Park. Should fans be worried that he is susceptible to the long ball?
Sure. I think that's a valid concern. But I also think at this point, there aren't many other good options for the Jays to turn to. And I do think he's a guy that's shown he can have success in the major leagues as a starting pitcher over a brief period of time. And I think in any in any positive scenario here, he's only going to be a starting pitcher for a brief period of time. Maybe it's a few turns of the rotation while Norris gets things figured out, but there's been no real